Law number 20, do not commit to anyone. As per the law, the author is trying to say that whenever you are situated in a situation where you have to take care of assigning your opinion to either of the group, you try to avoid that as long as you can possible. Do not take anyone's side. Do not commit to anyone's mission until it serves your own purpose. And to illustrate this, author gives multiple examples from British era. For example, Queen Elizabeth I, who was single and then about to get married. The truth was that she never wanted to get married, so she used this opportunity to do a lot of treaties with neighboring countries, for example with France. And then as soon as those treaties were signed, she didn't marry anyone and she died virgin. So the idea of the story is that she never committed to anyone but created this an aura, this opinion that she is about to get married, and that caused a lot of attention from different parties, which she used it for her and her country's own purposes. Second example is from the Greek times, where a soldier called Alcibiades actually worked with lot of enemies as well as other states, and in conclusion 3 states, and was able to take his position as the most powerful person among these 3 kingdoms, be it with Athens and other two. Author's most favorite person throughout this book, Henry Kissinger, strikes again in this chapter also, where he actually got cabinet position from both diplomatic front and Republican front during Vietnam peace treaty, which was getting signed in Paris. One wonderful example given is from 15th century, from a small town called Mantua, where the empress back then, Isabel d'Este, actually was stuck between different powerful Italian states, and between Florence, Venice, Rome, and Milan. But still, she was able to survive for as long as feasible, because she never committed to anyone, just created an aura where she wanted to attract all the kings near to her kingdom who can spoil her kingdom, be it with enemy countries like France. And that caused Mantua to be never attacked by any kingdom, and that entire small kingdom survived and thrived because of her not committing to any single party. Similar historical example from China are given, where one of the king never committed to both parties who were about to get collapsed. They committed only after the consequences had happened. So the point is that whenever you feel like committing to someone, wait for extremely a longer period. As soon as you commit to someone, the other party would think that this individual person can commit to anyone for any cause. So always create mystery around your decision. Never commit too early. And the reversal of this is this: if you do not commit to anyone, or you rather commit to everyone, then people will see this. So sometimes you have to just create this act of committing, but just talking, not executing those tasks. And there are similar examples given in this book. So the core thesis is, always try to not commit unless it's in your own. Law number 21, play a sucker to catch a sucker, seem dumber than you mark. In this law, author is prescribing everyone to act really foolish, especially for people around whom you want to achieve your position. Usually people always have this tendency to not accept someone else's intelligence, and there are stories and statistics around it that you will find 100 times more people who believe that you are dumber than they are. So to counter that, you always act foolish around these people, and in general you act foolish. To illustrate this, there are 2-3 examples given. One is from US, where in 1900s a couple of folks made the richest 3 people in US fool around, made them look fool by saying that they found an inventory of a mine of diamonds in the western part of US. They pulled this off by articulating that mine. Actually, artificially putting diamonds from Amsterdam and signing a real agreement to get around this. And they did this by actually behaving very foolish around those rich people, assuming, making sure that these people, the rich people, would think that they are stupid to let go of mines worth millions. But ultimately they found the richest people made sure that these two people get only 700,000 US. The mines were worth millions. That's the claim, and found that that mine was artificially made, and they were fooled. The second example is between Prussia and Austria, when each of these wanted to sign a common agreement. And so the person from Prussia, Bismarck, uh, really liked playing a game called Queens, and to make sure that he gets a good negotiation power, he invited his counterpart, Austrian negotiator, on the previous night to play Queens. And during this game, the person from Prussia really played stupidly, and that made sure that the other parties guards were down, seeming that this Bismarck guy from the Prussia looks very foolish. And that is how he acted for the rest of the night. And on the next day, when the treaty was to sign, because of this lower position, the Austria felt that Prussia is in the lower ball, so they never checked the fine prints of that treaty, and signed it quickly. As soon as that was signed, Bismarck then told Austrian that we are happy to sign this. This is amazing for Prussia. So the conclusion is that because Bismarck acted foolishly in that game, the Austrian counterpart felt that the entire nation is on the verge of getting fooled by Austria, but it was ultimately reversed. And then there are historical examples given where there are a lot of French princes and who turned out to be king, who acted very foolish in earlier part of their lives. And another example or reversal of this is that you don't have to always sound foolish. There are times in your professional world where you have to subtly show your smartness until you reach to the top position. And even after you reach to the top position, once in a while you have to show your intelligence. For example, if there are any situation where your opinion is mattered among tens of people, then you have to show your expertise as a professor of that field. And a famous example from Duvin, author's favorite art dealer, this has been displayed in one of